This week's edition of Church Media Design TV is sponsored by Print Management Solutions. Welcome to this week's edition of Church Media Design TV, tips, tricks, and how-to for you, the church media designer. I'm your host, Brad Zimmerman, and joined with me every week are my favorite bobbleheaded friends. You got it right. We got Sean and Gus from Psych. We got Little Whitey, Colonel Sanders, and of course, hanging out with me for the past 100 episodes, it's Jesus Christ, the Son of the Lord Most High. You heard it right. This is our 100th episode. It's actually kind of beyond 100, but we're not going to get into the semantics of how we do our counting around here because I'm a little crazy and I tried a lot of different weird things. And anyway, we're going to call this our 100th episode. And for our 100th episode, we have a great deal of basically I went through and said, let's find my favorite resources, my favorite freebies, my favorite episodes, and let you guys know about them. So we're going to go through and give you a whole bunch of great resources, a ton of great freebies, and a ton of great episodes that some of you maybe have never watched. You've just been watching for the past few months, or you've been watching since day one and you forgot about it and whatever. Hopefully this will, bring up some great episodes that you guys can check out if you haven't seen them already, as well as a ton of great freebies that are on the website, but my favorite freebies that I use almost every week in our church and that kind of deal. So if my favorite bobbleheaded friends are ready, let's get into it. Well, let's reach into the stockpile and grab my favorite 10 resources from our first 100 episodes. Some of these resources I talked about many times over and over again, but these I find to be some of my favorite resources that I use day in and day out. So let's get into it. The first one is FileZilla that you can get at filezilla.project.org. FileZilla is a FTP program. It's open source. You can get it on PC, Mac, and Linux, so it's free. It's a great program. However, there's a con. They come out with a new update like every 2 or 3 hours, it seems like. And so a lot of times I just skip updates for like a month and then do a big cumulative one. But anyway, it's a great program for FTP management and stuff like that. I love it and use it every week. Next one is the Toots Plus network, so tootsplus.com, and this includes everything from PSD Toots, which is Photoshop tutorials, AE Tuts, or Toots, Tuts, whatever you want to call it, AE tutorials. They have Net Toots, Photo Toots, CG Toots, Tuts, Audio Tuts, Vector Tuts, Active Tuts, all sorts of Toots or Tuts, whichever end it comes out of. Yep, I just said that. Anyway, so check that one out at tootsplus.com. Tons of great tutorials and learning you can do there. Some of my favorite sites, kind of wrapped all those into one network there. Next one is a new one that I found over the last year, and they have tons of great stuff, and it's MediaMilitia.com. And they have inspiration, but they also have so just recently 109 free assorted brushstrokes. Or we can go down a little bit further and we have 50 free Aquos sun textures. So they just have tons and tons. I mean, if you just scroll through just the homepage, you'll see hundreds of free design elements that you can use. So MediaMilitia.com, tons of great stuff there. Now, how about some free stuff for the church? StuffICanUse.com. This is put on by the guys of Church Tech Talk and Southeast Christian Church in Louisville, Kentucky. They also put on the Gurus of Tech conference that is going to be on again this summer, but Stuff I Can Use has tons of free stuff. Let's check out, one of their latest series, this one series. Pull up the graphic here and you can see they have all of these different slides. They have a bumper video even that we can check out here. Let's give it a watch. You can see they got some fun little Polaroids falling down and good times. So you can get all of that stuff plus layered Photoshop files. You can get just the graphics, so you can edit and change them. And I've actually, because sometimes my workload's too big, so student ministries, a lot of times I'll go find a package that I like the look of and I'll change it out to our title. So check out stuff I can use. Next is Notepad++. Now, I use this to write all my XML, and I use this for coding, for WordPress, and all sorts of different stuff. This is a coding, it's a text editor, but you can use it for HTML or any sort of text-based coding. Has built-in tips, so it'll, let you know if something's not complete, and it's just a great program. You can get that at notepad++.sourceforge.net. So check that one out. The next is my favorite word to say, abdazito.com. Abdazito, abducted by design. You've heard me talk about this one many times. This is a great inspirational site that has tutorials, but mostly nowadays it's got a ton of roundups of, they have their Friday free, fresh free fonts. And then they just have tons of different great write-ups and inspiration and different people that designers and that kind of stuff. So abdazito.com, great place. I will warn you, however, sometimes the designs are a little bit more on the risque side on some of their roundups, because they put anything in that is art worthy. So it's all artistically done, but sometimes there's a bit of yeah. Next one is defont.com. Again, you gotta have fonts for your design. I don't like to go overboard, but again, there's some great fonts in here that can get you started in a certain style or certain direction. So defont.com is a great place to check all that stuff out. Then we're getting down to the wire. I think this is number 8. We have videocopilot.net. AE tutorials plus a bunch of video projects, and they have their basic series, which is a 10-part basic training teaching you After Effects from not knowing anything about After Effects. As well as they have a bunch of great products like their new optical flares plugin. They have Pro Scores, which is great background sound audio. And Andrew Kramer, who runs the site, is a phenomenal designer. He did the title intro for Fringe. He actually just redid the title intro for Fringe for one episode that was all 80s looking. He helped do some stuff for Star Trek. So he's got a friend in J.J. Abrams, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so you can check out Video Copilot. Tons of great stuff there. Number 9, great resource, one of my favorites, sxc.hu. If someone ever asks me where to find great images, I always point them to the stock exchange. They have great stuff on here. What's their quick stats here? They have 391,356 photos online, and they have another 1,435 photos pending to be published. So there's a ton of photos on here, and they're all great quality. This isn't like looking through Flickr or through, web shots or some random crappy, it's not Google Images where you're getting these crappy images. These are high quality stock photography for free. A lot of times you just have to quote the author, or you need to get permission or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's all free. Then last but not least, my favorite resource is a really good deal on the Adobe Creative Suite. I encourage you guys, if you're going to spend a little money to get some software, buy the Adobe Creative or Production Premium. Now, this includes Photoshop, Flash, Illustrator, and then we got After Effects, Premiere, Encore, Sound Booth, On Location. I think those are the 8 programs that come in it. So for normally, this is a $1,700 piece of software or a package, but you can get a nonprofit version from the Academic Superstore for $635. 63% off. So it's an amazing savings. It's less than $100 a program, and you're getting all of your basics covered. You got Photoshop and Illustrator, which are, you know, standard programs. We got video editing with Premiere, you got post-production with After Effects, you got sound editing with Sound Booth, you got DVD authoring with Encore. On Location is for storyboarding and, you know, video location management. So there's tons of great stuff. And then they throw in Flash, so you can do some web stuff in there. And depending on what happens in the next couple weeks here, Flash will also be authoring iPhone applications, as long as Apple doesn't go crazy on them. I don't really want to get into that, but you can find all the links to all these sites on the website in the show notes, so I encourage you to go check those out. So those are my 10 favorite resources and links for you guys to check out for your everyday, every week, every month church usage. Well, before we move on, let's say thank you to our sponsor, which is Print Management Solutions. They have the solution to your print needs. You can check it out. You can get printers, all sorts of great stuff. And the best thing is they're going to figure out what's best for your church. We use this every single week. It's a great deal. We actually printed out all of our Easter stuff on a printer that we got from Print Management Solutions. We got a new printer from them this past year. It prints in great quality. We don't have any of the problems we used to have, and maintenance is built into it, so I don't have to worry about, well, what if something breaks down during this big print job? I don't have to worry about that anymore because it's all taken care of. So head over to the website. You can click sign up, enter your information, and make sure to put Church Media Design in the promo code. As well as if you have any questions, give him a call. Dan's a great guy and would love to help you guys out. And the biggest thing is you're going to save a lot of money. So pass this on to the person who needs to hear it, because you want to have a little bit more budget money, and you want to be responsible with the money that God's entrusted to your church and to your organization. So use it the most wisely you can. I guess that's all I have to say. But so check it out, printmanagementsolutions.biz. Well, instead of a how-to this week, I'm going to give you my top 10 favorite episode topics / series of topics. So this is the how-to segments from our first 100 episodes, my favorite 10, and some of them are multi-part episodes, so I kind of cheated here and there, but let's get into it. The first one is Google Apps. Now, we did a 2-part series talking about Google Apps, and this is one of my favorites because I did this after switching myself out and our church out to Google Apps, and it's been one of the best switches I've made. It makes life so much easier. I love that my email is everywhere I go. I love that my documents are shareable with everyone on my staff team. It's great. So check that out. That's a 2-part series. Next is Church Marketing 101. Now, this episode was a great one where I got to talk about, you know, how are you marketing and what are you marketing for your church, and coming out of Easter and stepping into the summer, and, you know, a lot of different things. You got to think about, what are we trying to market? Are we trying to get people there for different reasons or whatever that may be? So that's Church Marketing 101. The next one was voiceovers, and this actually included a pretty funny video that we did that had a great voiceover with it, in my opinion, and just talked about the power of a voiceover and how, yeah, you can find that perfect song, but songs don't speak to you. A voiceover speaks right to you. So we talked about some of the tools to make voiceovers happen. The next one was a 2-part series on live streaming. So we talked about all of the tools that you would need to live stream and free services to get it done, software that you can use, and different places that you can live stream. And again, we've been live streaming this entire year at our church and are moving forward in upgrades and trying to, you know, take things another level. And I know many of you out there are streaming, and we talked about some philosophy of live streaming, and that's made all of the difference for us with our stream, because we have our philosophy, and so we can tell whether or not this is a failure or if it's a success and how to keep going with it. So live streaming 1 and 2, that was number 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. This is number 5, maybe. No, this is number 6. I don't know. This is number 5. Who knows? It's our 2-part series on match moving. So we did this series, and I got a little flack here and there from some people, but again, I wanted to teach you guys the tools of it and got to do something new, and that was the funnest part for me of this episode. Is it was something way new, way out of my comfort zone, but at the same point was something that was really cool to teach because the tool wasn't very expensive for you guys to buy if you wanted to get into this, and so I thought that was a lot of fun. The next one was a long series. This was a 5-part series on how to make a click track video. Now, I loved this one because we went way in depth and talked about all aspects of a click track, how you do the audio, how you make a click, how you save that out so that you can create all of the different pieces for it and stepped you through all along the way. And then I gave you the click track at the end. So that was a really fun one. Getting down to number 4, we have the making of church news. Now, this is one of my favorite episodes because this was super cool. Got to meet or got to get in touch with Nick Koo from Hillsong Church and got permission to be able to replay this on our show. And it was super beneficial for me to see what does this mega powerhouse of a church, Hillsong in Australia, do to actually create videos, and how many people does it really take, and how much time do they have, you know, and how well planned are they, and you get to see all this cool behind the scenes stuff. So that was just a super cool deal, and I hope to be able to, you know, do some stuff with them in the future. The next one was Hologram Church, and this was an amazing experience. Got to fly down to Atlanta, Georgia, and get to see holograms in action and see what the future of church could look like, and got to talk to Ainsley and Houston Clark and just talk about all of the different cool stuff that's possible with hologram technology. And, you know, I got to do the show intro next to a hologram, which is always fun. My number 2 episode is an old one. This is episode 37, but this is Photoshop selections. And I have a feeling that this episode is really long. I don't remember how long it is, but the cool thing about this episode is I walked through a lot of different ways you can do Photoshop selections, and Photoshop selections are really the power of Photoshop. You make a selection and then you manipulate it, and there's just a lot of great stuff that you use every single week of those selection techniques that got covered in that one episode. So that's a really great one that I would encourage you guys to check out. And then the last one was a 4-part series on looping backgrounds, and this to me is something that everyone can be doing and messing around with, is making your own looping backgrounds. So I talked about a lot of different ways you can do this, all of them inside After Effects. But you got particle effects, the wiggle effect, fractal noise, offset, and showed how to combine them all together and make some cool backgrounds. And there's a lot of free giveaways every week of those. So those are my top 10 favorite episode topics and episodes from our first 100. I encourage you guys, I'll have links on the website to all of the different pages for these, but I encourage you to go check these out if you haven't seen them. And we're going to have a ton of great new segments coming up here in the future, so check them out. Well, I want to encourage you guys all to sign up and submit any media you have for the ChurchMediaDesign.tv Film Festival. Now, this isn't just films, this is designs and all sorts of different stuff. We have mini movies, sermon intro, sermon package, worship background, and event promo. And we've been getting tons of submissions in already, and we have awesome prizes. You could win a copy of Pro Presenter 4. You could win the Igniter Uber pack, which is like, I think like 50 some videos from them. You could win a year subscription to ownthemix.com to get some great audio training for your church. You could win a free ticket to the Echo Conference. Tons of great prizes, and the cool thing is there's 2 divisions, so there's going to be 2 winners for every category. So small church or large church division, and I want to encourage you guys, especially if you're not creating videos, you can still submit for the sermon package category, which is all about, you know, that title slide and then like a text supporting slide, and you just have to put it into video form. And if you have questions about that or need more info, you can see examples on the website. But I want to encourage you guys, head over to ChurchMediaDesign.tv/contest. Sign up for the film festival. It's going to be an awesome time to inspire each other, but also appreciate what's going on and, of course, win some great stuff. So check it out. Well, this week's freebie is a whole bunch of freebies that we got sitting on the website for you to download. As I go and look through, you know, hits and look at my analytics, I see that a lot of people, the favorite part of the site besides the homepage is the listing of freebies. So there's a ton of them on there. Here are my favorite 10 or so in no particular order. The first one is Illustrated Trees and Clouds. This is my motion work with somebody else's PSD. I got this from the Creative MYK and animated this, but I just think this is a great background for you know, kids ministry or more of a whimsical time of year in the winter, something like that. Next is the star field. You gotta love a good, nice, colorful star field. It's not too fast, not too slow. Anything to bring the majesty in. Next is a great neon background. I call these neon curtains because they kind of, you know, they look like curtains to me. And these look actually really cool. We do 2 screens and they look really cool side to side. So check out the neon curtains. Next is a great subtle background. This one's my endless candles from this winter. This was filmed and looped, and I just love the color of it, and I love the motion. It's real simple, so you can check that one out. And then from last Christmas is Northern Lights, and this again is nothing's real here, of course. None of these are really real. It's all fake. We manipulate everything in the computer. But anyway, Northern Lights, great background, especially for a low mood. It's more of a winter background. So let's flip over to summer, to my banana tree background. I filmed this out in San Diego, California, and I go back to this background all the time. It's just a great, bright, happy, cheerful background with subtle motion. It's got great room for text. Next one is Abstract Fall. Again, this is a great, you know, mid-tempo to slow song background. And then we have Abstract Streaks, which is one of my favorite fast backgrounds. It's got a good flow to it, and I use this one a lot on different songs, so you can check that one out. And then one of my bokeh loops, which is really colorful, and I just like the stylization of it. And then last but not least is 3 different videos that you get, and these are more mini movies and not just worship backgrounds. Love Mercy, Do Justice, and Walk Humbly. These were videos that I created for a youth convention, and I'm able to give you guys for free, and it's got a soundtrack built in, the whole 9 yards. So those are totally free mini movies that you can download. So check out all of those. There's actually 12 different freebies in my top 10, but 3 of them are all the same or similar. So check those out. There's tons of great stuff on there, and I got some great freebies coming for you in the future. Well, thanks for tuning in to our 100th episode. I'm so glad you guys could be a part of it. We hope to bring you 100 more, and I know we will. So tune in next week for another great edition of Church Media Design TV. In the meantime, check out the website. There's inspiration posted all the time, articles, freebies. If you didn't notice, there's a great freebie for Easter that I posted during the week, and hundreds of you downloaded it, and I hope that came in handy for many of you to use. And somebody actually posted a German version of it, so that was pretty cool. So thanks to my international viewers. So thank you guys so much for being a part of it. If you guys want to hit us up, you can follow us on, become a fan of us on Facebook, facebook.com/CMDTV. You can follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/CMDTV. Shoot me an email, brad@ChurchMediaDesign.tv, or leave a comment below, and I would love to answer that. And if you guys have any thoughts or ideas for future episodes, let me know. But as for me and my favorite bobbleheaded friends, we're saying, see you later. Yeah.
Just go.
I don't think I can do it. Oh, it's so funny in my head though.
What?
Stop the presses. Before we move on, let's say thank you to our sponsor. See, it's way funnier in my head than it is in real life, but I still think it's funny to say stop the presses during a video.
So cheesy.
Oh man, I am, but I think I'm funny, so that's all that matters. Okay, here we go.